I grew up and being very interested in radio. I grew up before television, way back. And I don't know, I was a sickly child, had a lot of illnesses, listened to the radio a lot, became enamored with it. So from as long as I can remember, I've been interested in being on the radio. And then, of course, got into doing play-by-play for Norman High football and basketball when I was at a radio station in Norman. And the notoriety of winning a tryout and getting the OU play-by-play job landed me the job here at Channel 4, and that's how I got into television. And when I got into television, there were no minorities and no women in the newsroom, all white men, and I had absolutely no instruction about television. There was no teleprompter. We stood up and we did the sports, the news, weather, sports, and they just said, go do it. And I was, my wife said, my first show, my copy was here, and she said, you're going like that. I was scared to death first time I went on, but that's kind of a quick review. My first love, without question, is doing play-by-play, and I would be lying if I didn't say that being on television massages your ego because people recognize you, and they recognize your voice from the radio, I realize. But play-by-play is my real passion. I very much enjoyed being on TV regularly, but it has changed a bunch as well because of videotape. Back then we used to have film, and that was totally, I can tell all kinds of weird stories about film, because film, you would shoot it, then have to have it processed, and then splice it, edit it together. And my most scary thing that ever happened to me in television was when I used to do the Sunday afternoon OU playback show on TV, and it was film, and there were probably 200 edits in that film, and one of them always broke every Sunday, and you had to be ready when it broke to give NFL scores, and someone would tell you, okay, we're ready, and they'd start it again, and you have to pick it up and do the play-by-play of a film. That was horrible. It was live, and it was very, very difficult. Well, it's a very busy schedule, but I have enjoyed it very much in every aspect of it, and you just have to work it out. This past week, we had a basketball game Thursday night in Norman, then the Big 12 championship football game in Kansas City 2 nights later, and then the next afternoon, a basketball game in Tulsa. So we had 3 games in 4 days at 3 locations in 2 sports. And that happens when they both get going together at this time of year. But you just make your schedule. The main thing that's difficult about that is not doing it, it's getting the preparation, learning the names, putting the statistics down, getting ready for the game. And that takes hours of preparation. So you really have to plan ahead to do all those things when they fall in a row. Well, there's not any one thing you can pick out. The friends you've made, it's a great operation over the years. I've been here through 6 different owners, and they really, to be honest, a little bit egotistical here, but that's one of my proudest moments. I've been able to stay on the job through 6 different owners and countless news directors. And for those that don't know, the news director is the boss of the whole news, weather, sports. And it's just a great associations you've made, and the various programs, the evolution of the industry, all that is very, very interesting. And you can't be stuck in one era. You got to be ready to move on to the next thing, and that's very important. The big emphasis, of course, is on the expansion of the media and the computers and all that, YouTube and all that stuff. And think about it, when Channel 4 came on the air, they were the only TV station, the first TV station in the state. Then Channel 9 came on much later, and Channel 5 was originally located in Enid, KGEO, G being the Garvin County and E being Enid, KGEO, and all the Oklahoma. And then they moved to Oklahoma City. And then, of course, you had the other stations come on higher on the dial and TV. So for so many years, everybody that watched TV was watching Channel 4, just totally, because that's all there was. And to now expand on all the computer variations, it's just absolutely amazing. And of course, this interview right here, as far as associated with a newspaper, just shows how the lines are being erased between all the media. They're all getting mixed up there, which is a good thing. Information is good. Well, I just appreciate all the nice comments, and of course you have your detractors. Then if you're going to get in this business, you better be ready for criticism. There's some people that just don't like the way you do it or what you say, and they think you're slanted one way or the other, or whatever. And there are a lot of folks that are just very, very nice, and so it's just been fun to be recognized by people. You see them out in public, and they say hello by name, and that's really the great part of it. It really is. I enjoy seeing people and visiting with them.